Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Cowboys Defensive Projections. This is serious? Boom, cap mode time, baby. All right, guys. So what this video is going to do is we're going to take a look at PFF, but this is my own creation. I created all the graphics for this. PFF did one of these for the offensive projections for the Cowboys. I'm doing my own for the defense. I'm going to go over 5 guys that we're going to give projections on that could alter the defense from the bottom of the pits to the top. All right, so let's get right into it, guys. Here we go. All right, guys, so the first guy on my defensive projection is DeMarcus Lawrence. You can tell here, I'm projecting that he's going to have 8 sacks this season. Okay, now it's been a few seasons since he's hit that mark, but you know, I think with everything that has happened here with the revamping of the defensive coordinator, and you know, especially being Dan Quinn, and then also with the new additions up the middle, should open up some opportunities here. We've added some more beef there in the middle, some legit beef, you know, organic beef, whatever the hell you want to call it, grass-fed. All right, but we do have some double baconators up the middle there to clog it up. You got Brett Urban, Nolan Gallimore year 2. We'll see what Tristan Hill is all about, and we'll see if Bohanna can have an impact on this team. But besides that, DeMarcus Lawrence, I think, you know, he is a solid pass rusher. You know, Jerry Jones, you know, has his war daddy. You know, albeit he doesn't have the gaudy numbers. You know, 15 sacks. You know, and things of that sort. But he does get it done. You know, obviously he does play the run well. And they asked him to do a lot more of that last season because we're just getting so gutted. So, you know, there were some limitations there. Got beat up. All of our defenders got beat up. So, you know, no more excuses, though. This is 2021, and it is time for DeMarcus Lawrence to, you know, step up here and add some more sacks here. Obviously, he is getting up in age, but I think with all the additions, I think he's poised to have a relatively good season. You know, and I think 8 sacks is going to be the sweet spot for DeMarcus Lawrence. That's my projection for DeMarcus Lawrence 2021 season. Let's go to the next player. Trayvon Diggs. All right. I'm going with 5 interceptions. You know, last year he had 3. Okay. Now he had a couple. He had several actually that he had dropped. So, you know, last year that number could have been higher. You know, it could have been anywhere from 6 to 7 interceptions if he hadn't dropped some of those that landed right in his hands. So I think another offseason in the NFL conditioning program, and then under the guidance of Dan Quinn and this sorts of thing, I think you're going to see big improvements here. He's going to be your number 1 cornerback, a future cornerstone player for the Cowboys, somebody that has a potential to earn a second contract if, you know, everything keeps going up. Trayvon Diggs has a high ceiling. He came in the league as a 2nd-round pick for the Cowboys. You know, could have gone in the 1st. You know, some people had him as a 1st, but he landed in our laps there in the 2nd round. And I like the way he played. You know, we threw him into the lion's den, you know, barbarian style, gladiator style, and he went to war. He went to war. You know, he played through some things there. Now, the thing about him, you know, we got to see if those feet hold up. But outside of that, man, I'm a huge fan of Trayvon Diggs. I love the way he plays the run, and I love how he's scrappy. You know what I mean? He's not gonna back down from any receiver in this league. All right. I mean, he went up against the best of the best, and he goes up against some of the best in our own team. You know, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup, to name a few. So 5 interceptions. I think he can hit that mark. I think there'll be more opportunities for errant throws. These guys in the secondary should have more opportunities to pick off some interceptions. So 5 interceptions for Trayvon Diggs for 2021. My next projection, the rookie, Micah Parsons. All right. I'm going all out on this one, and I'm not holding back. All right. I'm not holding back. I know you look at this, 150 tackles, plus he's going to give you 6 sacks. Okay. So are these numbers outrageous? They are not. Okay, they are not. If you go back, if you look at some of the premier linebackers, the rookie seasons, the numbers are there. You know, you look at Luke Kuechly, he's up in there in the 160 range. All right. You look at Darius Leonard, his rookie year, 150, 160 range. I think he had 7 sacks his rookie season. Okay. Now, Michael Parsons is coming into the league here as a blue chip player. and you should expect big numbers from him. He will be on the field. He's gonna take snaps from Van Der Esch and Jaden Smith. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about it. Mike McCarthy is putting his thumbprint on this team. These are his guys, and Dan Quinn is going to, work them into his system. So 150 tackles, 6 sacks. Okay, so I like those numbers. I think he can hit those marks, stays healthy. And if we are improved up the middle, which I think we are, I think he can hit those numbers. I really do. Okay. All right, let's go to my next player. And that's going to be Nolan Gallimore. Okay. I'm projecting he's going to give us 5 sacks and 13 tackles for loss. Okay. So last year, I think he was active in I think he started like 4 games last season. I'll have to go back and check that, but it was something like that. But, I like what I saw in him, especially his first outing. And you did see the improvement in that with Nolan Gallimore. This is not somebody that was, he didn't settle. He didn't settle for success. He wanted to improve each week, and you saw that towards the end of the season, and that's very promising. He was the fastest defensive tackle during that 2020 draft, if you remember that. So a big man has a high motor, and I think this is a perfect fit for what Dan Quinn wants at defensive tackle. He struggled, finding a good combo there in Atlanta. But he had one good player there with Grady Jarrett, but they couldn't find that 1-2 punch there. I think here in Dallas, he's going to have that 1-2 punch, whether it's, Nolan Gallimore and Brent Urban, or Gallimore and Tristan Hill, or, Bohanna and Gallimore. I think the combinations on this defensive line are going to be endless, and this isn't some gimmick thing. We kind of heard that, Nolan was going to be creative, and it just never came through fruition. But, Dan Quinn has skins on the wall, especially concentrating, going back into the well there at his speciality as a defensive coordinator, not as a head coach / defensive coach. I mean, you're getting a coach, that's going to get the most out of these players. And the thing about Dan Quinn, he is your defensive coordinator, but he gets in the trenches with these guys, and especially with the D-line. So he's like your D-line coach / defensive coordinator. So he's going to coach these guys up. And I think Nolan Gallimore, whoever the defensive coach was going to be, here in year 2 under McCarthy, I think he was going to have a good year regardless. But now that you add Dan Quinn to the mix, I like the possibilities here. I think he's going to get penetration there. We saw him bust up some plays last season. I like what I saw out of Nolan Gallimore, and that's what I think, man. I really do. I think 5 sacks, sweet spot. We saw Malik Collins here a few years ago give us about, 4 sacks here and there. I think he had like 5 or 6 at one time. Nolan Gallimore is a much better player, a lot quicker off the snap, and plays the run well. Okay. So more of that, more pressure, more collapsing of the pocket. That's going to open up things for our defensive ends. Our linebackers are going to be able to feast sideline to sideline, and that sort of thing. So Nolan Gallimore, baby. Okay, my next player, Randy Gregory. Yeah, that's right. That number is correct. You're not seeing things. Double-digit sacks, 10 sacks for Randy Gregory. He came off of suspension last year in October. And I think that was like week 6, right? And immediate impact last season. This year, a full off season. The NFL has gotten with the program. They have loosened up their ridiculous stance on marijuana, and this is gonna help Randy Gregory. Like I said, a full off season with Dan Quinn, the programming, the health program that they have here for the Cowboys. You've heard it from him. He's bulked up. He's not gonna lose that. He's not gonna lose the muscle. He's very in tune to what he wants to do this season. He's on a mission. When you hear him talk, very humble, and he's gone through some things. Sometimes you have to go through the storm, right? You have to weather that storm to get what you want. And I think Randy Gregory has the skill set, man. He does. Low tread on those tires. This isn't like, he's been playing a whole lot. He hasn't. So this is a young man out there still. We drafted him in 2015, and he's had those struggles. But I think he's turned the corner. And I expect a breakout season. That's why, like I mentioned in my video, if you missed it, 4 players that I think the Cowboys should consider, extending sometime during the season before the season ends. Randy Gregory is my #1 guy. All right, try to get him on the cheap, because if he gets into these double-digit sacks, that number will go up. So let's see how he looks in the midway point here at the bye week, and maybe you want to work a deal here. But you get that. Looking at the whole picture here, this defensive projections, DeMarcus Lawrence 8, Gallimore giving you 5, and then you get 10 here from Randy Gregory. I mean, the Cowboys haven't had a whole bunch of sacks here in a very long time. I think the last time they had like 38 or 40, somewhere in that range. That was when you had DeMarcus Ware, Anthony Spencer, Hatcher, and all these types of guys. That was I think that was even under Wade Phillips. So it's been a long time since they've hit that 40+ sack mark. They could push that, and if you get that, you're in business. You're in business if you're getting sacks from Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Gallimore, Randy Gregory, and then some of your other supplemental players. We'll see what Odigizua. He's another presence there in the middle too. Let's not forget about him. Golston. There should be sacks coming in waves, like legitly in waves. We always talked about getting sacks and pressure in waves under Marinelli. I think that's more of a reality here with Dan Quinn and with the talent here. You got this coach the groceries. Now let's get to work, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these projections for the Cowboys. All right, I think this is a good, fair number. Micah Parsons, that one there could be high, and I know I'm gonna hear some of that in the comments. Whatever, blah blah, whatever. He can hit those numbers. It's been done before, and you should expect that. All right, you should expect that. So expectations are high for this team, but that's where we're at on my Cowboys defensive projections. All right, guys, so those are my Cowboys defensive projections. Let me know what yours are, if they're these 5 players or if there are any others. But let me know what you have as far as projections on these players, okay? We got Dan Quinn in the mix now, and these guys, they're talking a big game in the offseason. Training camp, should ratchet that up as well and see how they look in the preseason and that sort of thing. But on paper right now, the Cowboys are setting themselves up to be in the driver's seat for the NFC East, and for one of the better defenses in the league, possibly. So we'll see what happens here, guys. Continue to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you for the next video, guys. Peace.